So happiness isn't a state you reach, it's practice, more like a verb than a noun, really. Just look at great figures like Kobe, Jordan, Elon Musk. They all achieved the dreams of many. Yet, they never kept doing the thing that made them happy, that gave them everything they wished for. Why? Because happiness is not the destination, it's the journey. It's not the result, but the process. That's why they venture into other areas beyond their initial goal in order to keep being happy. And that's why it's so important that you keep creating goals for yourself, keep expectations of yourself. Like I said in my last video, nothing lasts forever, even happiness. So to get out of your depression and keep it that way, you need to understand that you need to keep creating goals for yourself. Because if there's nothing to aim for, you know where your mind will wander off to. Depression isn't just the moment you feel, but the whole behavioral process. And the more committed you stay to not follow that process, a more solid you that isn't defined by depression exists. For that, you need to keep having things to look forward in your life. But this process doesn't have to be something difficult without reward. And I will split those rewards into 3 points of view. So the first reward is the main goal of this guide, which is to beat depression. All of these behaviors I'll talk about until now weren't just to keep you healthy, but to specifically rearrange and reset parts of your brain that deal with discomfort in various areas, like social burdens, physical exertion, and anxiety from probable outcomes. If you have been following me for a while, you must have noticed some improvement in your life. But if we are talking about depression, the moment you stop those behaviors, your depression will come back. Because since you suffered from it for so long, your brain wired itself that way. That's why I talked about this being a lifestyle before, instead of a one-time solution. If you went through all the steps until now you have an idea how that looks like. And now you have a better vision of how your life should be if you want to be depression-free. But also know that that is not forever. That depends on how your brain responds to outside stimulus and adapts, and that is different for everyone. But I can tell you that consistency is key. The longer you train yourself to acclimatize to uncomfortable situations, the faster your brain stops seeing them as a bother. And therefore, the less anxiety you will feel, and the less depression you will suffer from. A life with mental peace and a rational judgment. This is what consistently keeping goals for yourself does for you, allowing it to retrain and heal your brain to a point where the negative feelings aren't the prime directive anymore. Do this for enough time and your brain will change because it will adapt to the new lifestyle. And the second reason of why you should always have goals and expectations for yourself is that it's the best gift to give to our anxious and depressed selves. Instead of always dealing with anxiety of the unknown, of feeling at mercy of what's out there, allow yourself to become the architect of your life. Allow yourself to be in comfort. Stop waiting for things to come. Stop being so reactive to the external and start being proactive. Allow the internal to precede the environment. Take an active part of where you are going in life, not to please others, but simply because you want it. By you always chasing and achieving goals constantly, the anxious part of yourself won't have any excuse to doubt or fear what will happen, because you have shown to that anxious person that you have the power to change it, that you have the power to change the variables in your environment and has some degree of control, allowing your anxious side to rest and allowing yourself to relax, to simply enjoy life. If you want happiness, safety, and power, this is it. This is the lifestyle you need to assume in order for that to happen. And it's a lifestyle you will never regret, because growth beats silence every time. And that is something that not everyone has. And if you live a life of constantly growing, you can be assured that you will always meet your goals, no matter what happens. That is the ultimate life, safety, power, and happiness, no matter the conditions. And the last point is for the people without purpose that feel lost or feel like failures. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, if you don't have this grand plan for your life, take this to heart. Always have expectations for yourself. Always keep striving for self improvement because that's the purpose of your life. It's always you, it's your goals, and it's your happiness. And the more you are used to achieving the goals you have for yourself, easier it is to know which those are and to accomplish those goals, making your anxiety become something that really has no reason to exist. Like I said in the beginning, happiness isn't the result, it's a habit. And if you aren't used to it, it doesn't happen for you. And that's what most are confused about. The purpose is always you. And if you aren't used to do it for you, you also don't feel safe enough to move towards to what you want because there's no physical evidence that you can handle what's to come. You don't feel safe enough to relax because your life rhythm is always changed by some external events. And by keeping goals and expectations for yourself is how you solve those worries. You don't allow yourself to forget what you are capable of, allowing yourself freedom and capability to choose happiness. Because the truth is, there will never be a perfect moment to enjoy. All we have is the present, and if you can't control yourself to the point where you shut off your worries and enjoy, you will never be capable of happiness. So even without direction, keep chasing goals for yourself, for your happiness. You are the purpose always. And it's tiring, it's stressful, and scary, I know. But that is still better than to feel lost and having nothing make sense in your life. Like the people who are addicted to substance. They say that they are happy, and yet the need to consume just becomes bigger and bigger. That is not control, but dependence. That is you being at mercy of something again. That's a lie you were told. And I'm here telling you the truth in order to get out of that life of being at mercy of depression, to stop falling in the dark hole where we are nothing and it's just pain. You need to accept that happiness is a lifestyle. It's not pretty, but it gets better. And I can promise you that. It's worth it to not having to second guess yourself at every move. It's worth it to not live in fear. And it's worth it to feel free. That is worth any price. So accept that from now on, this will be your life.